Hi guys, my name is Muchekwa Ntangeni with Maths XYZ, and today we'll be doing shapes and measurement regarding the previous two lessons on shape and measurements, where we dealt with the shape of a cylinder and also a right prism. So this example here that we're going to be doing today, it combines the two lessons, which is of a cylinder and also for the right prism. So here the question says we are given a rectangular box of which inside it has been filled with 35 newspapers inside. The dimension of the boxes, it has 35 centimeter length and 30 centimeter height and 25 centimeter breadth. So here we are given 2 points, of which the first point says that 35 newspaper packaged into a rectangular box by a packaging machine. So here we have 35 newspaper, of which here they are. We can actually see them from a top view of the rectangular box. So the second point says that the machine packs 7 newspaper in 5 rows. So the row, this is the first one, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we are in 5 rows. In 5 rows, 7 newspaper has been packaged. So it's 5 rows and then 7 newspaper being packaged into those rows. So the question says we must calculate the radius of each roll if they fit exactly into a box. So here we are given the dimension of the box, of which this is 30 centimeter height and also the 25 centimeter breadth of the rectangular box. So to prove that this newspaper can fit exactly into a box, we have to use the 35 centimeters and also the 25 centimeters, both of them, so that we can get the radius of the box, the radius of each newspaper roll, to say. So what we're gonna do here, I'll just flip the board so that we can write the answers on the other side. Okay. So what we have here is, we have a rectangular box. Sorry guys, I'm not drawing it to scale. We have a rectangular box. Here it is, and it's in 3 dimensions. So this is in 3 dimensions. So what we have here is 35 centimeter. We have 25 centimeter on breadth, and we have 30 centimeter on height. So here we have 7 newspaper roll in 1 row. In one roll, and we have 5 rows in this rectangular box. So what we have to do to calculate the radius of each newspaper roll, we have to use the 35 centimeter length of the rectangular and also the 25 centimeter breadth of the rectangular box. So what we have here is we have 35 centimeter. We are now calculating the radius of the box, which is question number 1. Radius of the newspaper roll. Radius of the roll. So what we have here, we are given 35 centimeter, which is the length of the rectangular box, and in this length of the rectangular box, 7 newspaper roll has been packaged into this length. As you can see that the 35 centimeters is actually parallel to 7 newspaper rolls. So we'll divide that by 7. Of which is 7 newspaper rolls, so that will give us an answer. So the other thing that we must do to calculate that, we have to use the 25 centimeter breadth of the rectangular box, of which the 25 centimeter breadth is actually so that was 2, 4, 7. So I'll also draw then the 5 rows, of which the 25 centimeter is actually parallel to the 5 rows of the newspaper rolls that has been packaged. So this will be divided by 5. So here the answer that we get, it will be giving us the radius of the diameter, of the 1 newspaper roll. So even the case with the 35, it will be giving us the radius of the newspaper roll. So that will be 25 divided by 7, of which it will be giving us the 5. You remember 35 divided by 7 is equals to 5 centimeters, yes, because it's in centimeters. And then 25 divided by 5, this will also give us 5 centimeters. So the 5 centimeters that we have is like we took 25 divided by 5, that will give us 25, and of which that 25, we know that the 25 will actually be the diameter of the the diameter of the one roll of the newspaper. So the diameter, for us to get this is diameter. So for us to get the radius of the newspaper roll, we have to divide the diameter by 2, as we know that the radius is twice the measurement of the diameter. So dividing the diameter by 2, it will actually give us d divided by 2, it will give us the radius. The same with this one, as we can see that the answer is the same, is 5 centimeter, then we can just use the 35 centimeter only. So I will erase this. So d divided by 2, which our d is equals to 5 centimeter divided by 2, that will give us a radius of 2.5 centimeters. That is the radius of one newspaper roll in this rectangular box. So let's just look at another question here. The second question in this question says we must now calculate the volume that the newspaper occupy the box. Alright, now that we know that this newspaper roll is a roll, that means that it's a shape of a circle, and we know that a circle, the radius, the area of a circle is equals to pi r squared. And when we have to calculate the volume of a circle, of a cylinder, as this newspaper roll, it will be looking like this inside the box. So it looks like this. It's a shape of a cylinder. As we can see that it has fit inside the newspaper, that means that they have been placed in a newspaper in a vertical position. So as you can see that it gives us a shape of a cylinder since it's a roll, and that a roll that it has been opened on both ends. That means the top and the bottom has been opened as well. And now that the second question says we must calculate the volume that the newspaper occupy. We know that when we have to deal with the volume, we have to use the base area multiplied by height, of which we know that the base area of a cylinder is equals to pi r squared, and the height is still the height of the rectangular box. So what we have here is we have everything. We have the r, of which we have calculated it from the first question, of which we got 2.5 centimeters. And what the other thing that we have that we need to use is the 30 centimeter, as this roll of a newspaper has been placed from the top of the rectangular box and it ends at the bottom. That means that the height of the box is equals to the height of the newspaper roll. Now that we have everything that we need, we can just plug it into an equation. That means that the volume is equals to pi r squared h. This is the equation of the volume, of which the pi r squared is equals to the area of, is equals to the base area of the cylinder, which is the newspaper roll in this case. So now we have our pi and our r. We have calculated it from the first question. This will be 2.5 squared multiplied by h, of which I've explained that the h will be equals to the height of the rectangular, as this newspaper roll fits into the rectangular box. So now here we're just gonna plug that into a calculator and get the answer. Alright, as I told you guys that I don't have a calculator, so I'll still just use my cell phone. So this will be pi multiplied by 2.5 squared. 2.5 squared multiplied by 30, which will give us 589.05. So this will give us 589.05. So remember the radius that we have used for this to calculate the volume. It's a radius of just one newspaper, as we cannot get the radius of the entire newspaper at once. So now I have calculated the volume that one newspaper occupy inside the box. I mean the space that one newspaper roll occupy in the rectangular box. But remember, in this rectangular box, we are actually given we have 35 newspaper roll inside this box. So the 589 is the volume that one newspaper occupy inside the box, which is 589.05 cubic centimeters, I mean to say. So here I still have to write the SI unit. So to now get the volume that the newspaper occupy the box, that means that all this newspaper. So to get that, I have to multiply the 589.05 cubic centimeters by 35, so that I can see the volume that all this newspaper occupy inside the box. So that multiplied by 35, it will give us, I'll just still use my cell phone, which will multiply by 35. That will give us 616 comma 70 cubic centimeters. That is the volume that all this newspaper occupy inside the rectangular box. I hope you guys understand. Let's just do a quick recap to see how we got to that answer. The first question, the information that we are given in this question is we have a rectangular box which has the dimension of 35 centimeter length, 25 centimeter breadth, and also 30 centimeter height of the newspaper. And as we can see, we can only see this newspaper from the top view of the rectangular box. And the newspaper that has been fitted into this box, they are 35 centimeter, they are 35 in numbers, and it's seven newspaper roll packaged in 5 rows. So these are the rows here, and we have 7 newspaper that has been packaged in each row. I mean to say. So what we have here is the first question was saying that we must calculate the radius of each roll. That means that each newspaper roll, if they fit exactly into a box. So if this 35 newspaper are fitting into this box, that means that we have to use the dimension of 35 centimeter and also the 25 centimeter breadth. So first, using the 35 centimeter length of the newspaper, we have to divide that by 7, as this is the 7 is actually parallel to the 35 centimeter length. So after dividing that, we got 5, of which 5 that will be giving us the diameter. As you can see, guys, that 35 divided by 7 will give us 5, and that will be the diameter of the roll. So after getting that, to get the radius, we know that the radius is actually twice the diameter. So we divide the diameter by 2 to get the radius, of which in this case we got the radius as 2,5 centimeters. We have calculated it in the other side of the board. So then, to really see if they actually fit into a box and if the answer is right, we also use the 25 centimeter, which is parallel to 5 rows. So that would be 25 divided by 5, which will still be 5, and the 5 we know that it's a diameter. So after dividing that and getting 5, we know that the radius is twice the diameter. We just divide the diameter by 2, and that will give us the value of the radius. Still, we got 2,5 centimeter, which just proved that our answer is actually right and that the newspaper can fit into a box. So the second question says we must now calculate the volume that the newspaper occupy the box. Alright, the first thing that we did, now that we have the diameter, we have the radius, but that radius we know that it's only for one newspaper roll. So what we did is I calculated the volume that one newspaper roll occupy in the rectangular box, so that it will be pi. We know that the volume of a cylinder, as we know that this newspaper roll, it will be looking like this inside the rectangular box. So that will be pi r squared multiplied by h, of which pi r squared is the base area of the cylinder and h is the height of the cylinder. We know that this newspaper will fit exactly into a box. That means that the height of the box and the height of the newspaper, they are exactly the same. Then after calculating that, we got 589.05 cubic centimeters. And after having that, the question didn't ask for us to calculate the volume that one newspaper roll will occupy in the box. It actually need all the newspaper rolls. So what we do now that we are having the volume of just one newspaper roll, we just multiply that by 35, as we know that 35 newspaper has been fitted. They has been fitted into this rectangular box. Then after getting that, we got 2616, which is 20,616.70 cubic centimeters. That is the volume that all this newspaper occupy in the box. Then moving on to the third question, which says that the volume of the gap, we must calculate the volume of the gap of the newspaper rolls. Okay, then this newspaper rolls, as you know that if it has been rolled, that means that there's a gap which is just having nothing. That means that it's just in the open. Then to calculate the volume that the gap of the newspapers, that means that what we have to do now is to calculate the volume of the entire box. All right, after having found the volume of the entire box, we subtract the volume of the newspaper rolls. That would be 2616.70 cubic meters, and the difference that we'll get, that means that will be the gap of the newspaper rolls inside the rectangular box. All right, so what we do now, we know that the volume of Now we have to use the volume of the rectangular box, and we know that the volume of the rectangular box is equals to the base area, which is length multiplied by breadth, and the base area multiplied by height, which the height we are also given is 30 centimeters. That will be length multiplied by breadth multiplied by height, as easy as it looks. Then that will be 35. That will be 35 centimeters, and our breadth is equals to 25 centimeters, and our height is equals to 30. So that will be, I'll still just use this calculator, phone calculator. Okay, so that will give us 26,250. That will give us 26,250,00 cubic centimeters. All right, and after having that, what we need to do now to calculate the gap of this of the newspaper in the volume of the newspaper of the volume of the gaps of the newspaper, I mean to say, we just have to subtract the volume of the box, subtract the volume of the newspaper. So the difference between the two will be giving us the gap of the newspapers. So that will be the gap of the volume of the gap. I'll write here for space purpose, volume of the gap. It will be equals to the volume of the box. Volume of the box, I'll just write the volume of the box, subtract the volume of the newspapers. Okay, that will be 26,250 minus 2616,70. So the difference between these two, it will be giving us the volume of the gap. So that will be 2616,70. So the volume of the gap is actually 5,633,30 cubic centimeters. That is the volume of the gap of the newspaper rolls. So I hope you guys understand the logic behind this question, that we were just combining the two, which is the two lessons that we did, which is for the cylinder and also for the rectangular prism, of which, as you can see, that the circles represent the cylinder and the box represent the right prism of them in shapes and measurement. So I hope you guys also understood also that when we are filling the newspaper rolls inside the box, there are also gaps that has been just left inside the box, which are not filled with anything. So to calculate that, we just calculate the entire volume of the box, subtract that of a newspaper. That will give you the gap, the volume of the gap of the newspaper rolls. Alright guys, I hope you understood this question. It was actually quite interesting. If you have any question, please just let us know, and then we'll just get back to you to explain further in this question. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed, and also don't forget to subscribe to Maths XYZ channel on YouTube, so that you will receive notification whenever we upload videos. Thank you.